Let's go live, though, to the Conservative Party conference in Birmingham, where Bob Blackman is. He's Conservative MP for Harrow East, also chairman now of the 1922 Backbench Committee. Good morning to you, Bob.
Good morning, Julia.
Thanks so much for joining us. Haven't got much time, so I'm going to get straight to it. And what do you make of this row over Kemi Badenoch, one of the leading contenders for the Tory leadership? She's been accused of basically saying that maternity pay was excessive. She says she was talking about building regulations generally, but in the interview with Times Radio, she did just repeatedly answer a question about maternity pay, saying that things were excessive and the regulation on business is high. Has she just walked into a mess of her own making, or is what she said legitimate?
No, I think the issue that we're dealing with, not only at this conference but beyond, is to allow all four candidates to set out their stall for what they would do as leader. They're being tested now on not only their policies but how they present themselves to the media. And if they make mistakes, they've got to correct them. If they need to explain policies, they need to explain them. Because if they become leader, then that's what's going to happen to them literally every day. So actually it's a good testing ground for what they want to do when they become leader.
This was one of the arguments for absurdly long leadership battles. It seems like it's going on internally. I think another 5 weeks to go, for goodness sake. But that was the argument, wasn't it, that people needed to be tested over a longer period of time. She does seem to be the candidate the other candidates want to knock.
Well, I think we want to be clear on this. When we started this whole programme, we made clear that candidates should not knock each other. They can explain their policies. They can obviously knock the Labour Party, but that's pretty easy at the moment. But equally, they need to set out their positive vision for how we recover the trust of the British people and win the next general election. So that's the test. And if I can just say, there were many people that came to me and said, we need a very short contest, get this over with quickly. There are others that said we want a really long contest while we get our act together. Yeah. We've got, I think, a time frame that works.
OK. Let's talk about that, like what the next Tory leader can do, because that's what this is all about. This is the beauty pageant for those four candidates who are left in the race right now after the Tory conference is finished. Tory MPs, are going to whittle it down to just two candidates, and then the membership get to have their say. But the reality is, Labour, even within the first 100 days, are shooting themselves in the foot on a daily basis. The freebie row, the winter fuel payment row, you name it, the votes, at Labour Party conference by unions against Labour Party policy. We've had a Labour MP, Rosie Duffield, resigning, accusing the leadership of avarice and greed and a problem with women. It should be really easy for the Tories to make hay, and yet you don't seem to be doing that.
Well, I think we are. Instead of having one person attacking the government, we've got four and several others from the shadow cabinet all launching appropriate attacks. And what we've done is to be laser focused, for example, on the winter fuel allowance, on saying this is a campaign, this is something that Labour chose to do. They didn't have to do it. They chose to take the money away, the winter fuel allowance away from pensioners, and we're going to hammer them and keep hammering them until they either reverse their decision or the British people recognise them for what they are, which is incompetent, inept, full of cronies, and of course, as you've pointed out, all the donations that have been received for things that, frankly, everyone else pays from their own pockets.
Yeah, although, again, Tories have taken plenty of money from donors. Your party took money from Frank Castor, who's an out-and-out racist.
Well, our donations are obviously verified from verified sources, and everything goes through the proper legal route.
That was Keir Starmer's line as well. But the funny thing is, didn't wash with the British public, did it? I'm sorry we haven't got much time. Difficulty, obviously, getting you on the line.